I can't, no, you guys have no motivation in here. Is everybody ready? Yeah! Alright, that's right, is everybody ready? Yeah! Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nakava proudly presents Tim Stifter! Oh, we got your mic coming, Tim, don't worry.
You don't have a mic.
We thought you were loud enough.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Turn it on like a girl.
What?
Sorry, guys.
Hey, Light Guy has some jokes, man.
Yeah, that's tricky as fuck. How y'all doing tonight? Thanks so much for everyone coming out. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all the other comedians, the DJs, Nakava. You're all fucking awesome. You know that. So I'm going to tell you some stories tonight about some people that I know, and you probably know people just like them. You may or may not know the people I'm talking about, since some of them are sitting here. So I'm going to start first with someone I like a heck of a lot, but she is an absolutely terrible whisperer. She will walk up to a person and decide, you know what? I'm going to talk about this person to another person 2 feet away from them. And what she does is she just puts her hand up like that's a fucking block, and she'll be like, you know what? I fucking hate that guy! And the dude's looking at her like, what are you doing? And she's a really sweet girl. She's trying not to hurt their feelings, but she's 3 feet away from them. It is a huge, huge issue. She happens to be dating this guy I like to call the terrible responder. You know, a guy that you call, you email, you text, not in an annoying way, but you're just trying to get in touch with them and they don't get back to you for a couple days. Hey, you know, I'm in jail. Need you to bond me out. Week and a half later. Yeah, sorry, bro. I don't know. I just didn't. You're fucked. That's great. I have a boyfriend now, though, which is nice, and that was very, very pleasant. There's a couple people up here. They have this weird bromance. You know, people have bromances, and I like a guy, but I'm not gay. It's real iffy with these two. I'm not 100% sure, and I can't prove it because we don't have video yet. But for example, you go to take a picture. The two of them are standing next to each other. The one grabs the other one's ass. First of all, the one who's getting his ass grabbed doesn't really react, and the one who's grabbing his ass obviously realizes you can't see it in the fucking picture. There's no way to know that he's grabbing his ass other than you just really enjoyed it. And so I'm not 100% sure why we're doing that. A buddy of mine is dating a girl that's quite a bit younger than her, and the other day she says to me, oh, I really want babies. I just looked at my boy and I said, run, motherfucker, run! Because that shit's dangerous. She can't be trusting it. Let's say she's 20 years old with a baby. I mean, it's just not the way the world works. Hold on, I'm gonna check my note. I'm blind, by the way, so that's why I'm doing this. It's a prop. And my other friend, who happens to be in that bromance, he has this really, really annoying habit. He tells the longest stories ever. I mean, something that takes place in real life in 5 minutes is a 35-minute discussion about what's going on. Let me tell you. So he's going to go out to his mailbox. I'm going to tell the story as him. So I woke up. It was 7:27. I usually wake up at 7:24, but I hit the snooze button. I looked at my television and I decided I'm going to watch the Weather Channel so I can determine what sort of underwear I need to wear for today. Should I go boxers or briefs? Oh, it's 72. I'm going to go with briefs. That's a comfortable... By the way, the Weather Channel was started in 1989. It was originally just that radar, and then they fixed it up and they made it real nice. So I got up and I said, boy, it's a long walk to the mailbox. I should get some coffee. No. Tea. No. Energy drink. Wait. You know, I debated it for about 48 minutes. And I decided I was going to go energy drink for the walk to the mailbox. So, Red Bull, by the way, is my favorite energy drink. It's fucking delicious. It's so good. I drink the sugar-free, but it's really, really enjoyable. You should look into it. I then decided I'm gonna wear shorts today. Because I had the underwear on, I was just standing in my kitchen. I thought it'd be weird to go out with just underwear. So I put on the shorts, and I go out and get my mail. Now obviously this happened in real life in 30 seconds. This shit went boop, boop, and he was done. No, story took forever. I want to tell you about some of my family members. We're gonna start with my brother and his wonderful husband. You know, you think gays, and you go, you know, clean, neat, stylish, have you over for brunch, dope shit like that. I did not get brunch gays. I got like cargo shorts wearing, I'm fancy because I got a polo shirt on, bullshit, can't cook. Good God, it's retarded. We were looking into it. There's actually a gay lemon law where if you have them for only 3 days, you can go back and turn them back in. So we've really been looking into it because, you know, it's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I also want to tell you, everyone, you know, we're all comedians. We all talk about our mother-in-law. So why the hell not? Why wouldn't I talk about my mother-in-law? My mother-in-law is actually great. But she, English isn't her first language, she's from Colombia, and so she is terrible at mispronouncing things. I mean, absolutely terrible. One day, she goes to my wife and she goes, Caro, I am going to Wachovia now. My wife's like, Wachovia, the bank? She goes, no, they watch over your money. It's like, Mom, no, that's not how this thing works. The other day, she said out loud, not online, oh my MG. Come on, Mom, you can't go with oh my MG. I've known her now for 17 years. She still calls me Team. After 17 years, can't pronounce my name correctly. It's pretty freaking awesome. She used to own a bakery. And I don't know if you know this, but when you order cakes, you order them as a sheet pan. Obviously, this is not going to work out well. So we used to call her up and prank her. We'd call her and say, I'd like to order a cake. How do those come? Those come in half and quarter shit pans. What kind of pan again? I didn't hear you the first time. It's a half and quarter shit pan. Okay, great. I'm gonna take a half shit pan. You said shit, right? I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing. Yes, shit. And the thing is, she doesn't hear it, so you can say shit to her all the time. She thinks you're saying shit. It's awesome. My mother-in-law went out to go buy a car. And she bought the funniest fucking car possible. Dean, I go out and I buy a Ford Focus. Ford Focus? What are you talking about? Yeah, Ford Focus. So we used to just mess with her all the time. Like, Mom, I can't remember what kind of car that is. What is that again? Ford Focus, Ford Focus. She said it like 1,000,000 times. She's not super savvy online. So she was online and one day she goes to my wife, she goes, Caro, what does LOL mean? My wife looked at her and she goes, what? What does LOL mean? People read LOL after everything online. My wife looks at her again and goes, laugh out loud? What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't say that in real life, number one. And number two, it's not LOL. Don't ask questions like that. That's ridiculous. And then speaking of my wife, who I love dearly. You know what? I'm not going to go to my wife. Never mind. I would tell you a joke before that. My bad. Because the wife part is like a whole big bit. It's all a wife. So, the other day, my son, I have an adopted 4-year-old giant redhead who they told us was Hispanic when we adopted her. They were super, super confused. That was quite a shocker. He walked in, I'm like, it looks like all my cousins. What the fuck is going on here? People ask us all the time, where does the red hair come from? You don't want to answer as whore mom. You know, she's 17-year-old homeless, that's great. But it is what it is. And I have a younger son, his name's Grayson. And he's a great little guy, but recently his brother has taught him a sneaky-ass trick. He raises his hand every time you say, raise your hand. So you go to him, Grayson, do you like cookies? Raise your hand. Grayson, do you want to go for a walk? Raise your hand. Grayson, were you the one who pissed all over the toilet? Grayson, did you shoot JFK? Chow! He's all over that shit. Absolutely, he's so excited I can raise my hand, I'm big time. That's awesome. My dad and my son went down the other day to eat a 100-calorie pack. They're trying to, you know, Dad's watching his weight, he's a little bit older. And my dad and my son now both have a weird habit They ate a 50-calorie pack. They decided I'm gonna eat half of this and save, as my son says, I'm gonna save the rest for later. It's 4 fucking cookies. What are you saving it for? It was 8 to begin with. Come on, man, eat all. That's why he's thin and not like his mother and I. That and he's not biologically ours. That's the other side. You know, good for him. He's gonna grow up to be a tall, good-looking kid. Not like me. So now, I guess we're gonna go into my wife. Let's see, check the Yeah, my wife, she's a wonderful woman. She actually helped me write this, so, you know, before you get all out of sorts, nah, it doesn't matter, fuck it. I love my wife, but she grew up in a house where they listened to, classical music, they listen to talk radio, shit like that. They weren't American. So one day we're sitting down and we go to watch CSI. And all the CSI shows, I don't know if you know, they all have a song by The Who. So I don't watch CSI. So I start singing the song with the beginning. I'm not going to do that for you because I like you. And she goes, how do you know the CSI band? I said, the CSI band? What the fuck are you talking about? She goes, they play all their songs. That's the CSI band. I said, no, that's The Who. She looks at me and she goes, the what? The Who? The what? I'm like, are we in a fucking Laurel and Hardy skit? It's The Who. It's a huge band. They've been around forever. The Who? Yes, The Who. Look it up. I mean, it's one of those things. She gets pretty easily confused. One day we were talking and she said she was going to try to do something, so I pulled a Jedi mind trick, second time tonight, where I said to her, do or do not, there is no try. She looks me dead in the face and goes, why are you going all Shakespeare on me? What? Oh, Shakespeare on me? What the hell are you talking about? And then speaking of Shakespeare, I don't know why Shakespeare messes her up so bad, but we were talking and she's looking at me and she goes, you know, they're in a big disagreement. Like the Romulans and the Capulets. The Romulans? What do you mean the Romulans? The Romulans. Wait a second. You're all confused. She gets mixed up. And English is her first language, so I don't know what the issue is. I mean, I know where the dumb part comes from. Her mom. But that's fine. Listen, I love her. I'm not going to lie to you. She's great, but... oh, man. I don't know how many of y'all have wives or girlfriends or both. And I only have one, just clear that up. Everyone else here seems to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, but I got one. And every time I do something, it's always that I do it always. Like, you always leave the toilet seat up. You always go to the car. You always do everything. Now, a lot of times it's something I've done once. Like, I'm a diabetic, I'll have a Coke. She's like, why do you always drink Coke? I don't always drink Coke. I had one once. Why did you stab our kid? It was just that one time. It's not always, lady. Come on. Let's work on it a little bit. You're making me feel terrible. The other bad part about it is that she's the world's worst apologizer. She's absolutely awful. And so, you're arguing about something happens. Like I said, she's Colombian, so she's a little bit fiery, possibly. And so she'll go and, we're standing in the kitchen, everything's going fine, then BAM! She stabs me. I'm going, oh, honey, I'm bleeding to death. I gotta go to the hospital. Please help me. Nothing, no reaction. She just looks at me. And then she gets mad that I'm mad at her. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you so angry? I'm bleeding to death. I'm fucking dying here. You can't take it. And then her apology is, I'm sorry if you feel bad that you're bleeding to death. Oh, it's so terrible. No, I'm actually dying. And I don't know exactly how that's gonna work. My wife says a lot of the time, before she does something stupid, I didn't think. No shit, stop there. You didn't think. Our kid ended up in the dryer because you didn't think. I get it. So every time you start a phrase with that, I know. It's inherent in what you're saying. I didn't think. I didn't think that the lawnmower would cut your buddy's fingers off. I don't know. It happens. That's like a mix-up joke. Oh, yeah. But someone's calling me, it's probably my wife, she heard that shit, she's like, I'm gonna fucking stab you when you get home. And I'm just gonna bleed to death and she's not gonna apologize for it, guarantee. There's no question about it. My wife, you know, it's funny, we go to bed, my wife's a generally loud person, I'm a pretty loud guy, and as you can tell, and we go to bed and she has to decide that the volume goes on 2. Volume goes on 2. Honey, I can't hear anything. Can't hear anything. But she's fucking obsessed with Twilight. You put Twilight on, that shit can be on Mach Richter 9. And she's like, this is great, no problem. But you try and turn on anything else, she is absolutely screaming at you. It's crazy. My wife recently, she never read. I mean, in 17 years being together, I had seen her read 5/6 of one book. And this includes 2 years of high school. So obviously not a big reader. Lately, she has been absolutely addicted to reading to the detriment of my family, myself, work, everything. And I just don't get it. She reads those terrible books that little tweens read. Twilight, Hunger Games. Now she's reading this 50 Shades of Grey book. Hey, at least we're gonna have crazy sex now. That's like a big improvement on that. She's sending me crazy texts at work, and I'm like, yeah, popping boner at my desk is not helping it. Now the problem is, she sent me one today, and she's like, you can come home and take my panties off. I was like, but you know I have my comedy thing, you're watching the kids, I won't be home until you're asleep. She's like, yeah, fuck you. She just likes to fuck with me, she thinks it's funny, and I mean it is funny, I'm not gonna lie. The other part of that is now that she's, you know, now that we can maybe do some crazy sex things, I'm sure you've heard this, but when you get married, blowjobs, off the table. Absolutely no more blowjobs. You're not getting one. And I don't know what it is. I think it's a woman's trick. Like when they're trying to get a ring, or they need money, or they want to go out, blowjobs. But now that I have to legally separate from her, I'm fucked. I am never, ever gonna see a blowjob ever again. And the other thing that happens, and obviously now, like, I'm hoping 50 Shades of Grey fixes this, but she has this pair of socks. It's a pink pair of socks. It's got those little treads on the bottom like you put on a fucking toddler. I call those the pee-pee killer socks. Because you see these socks on her, and damn, there is no way I'm getting near that thing. It is just not gonna happen. It's automatically, my one buddy bought me a bunch of socks. He's like, oh, I'm gonna buy you a whole case of those. Well, whatever, man. I'm not getting blowjobs, so who cares? It's not gonna happen. And I'm gonna end up tonight. I'm sure y'all have been to Disney because we live in Florida. If you haven't been, whatever. It's a magical place full of wonder and diversity. Until you get to It's a Small World. So you go to It's a Small World, and it's supposed to be a ride about being inclusive. Everybody's the same. We're all good. French girls are whores. Whatever. You get on the ride. You're going through the countries. There's 4 black people on the whole fucking ride. Why are there 4 black people? The worst part? They're all ice skating. Who the fuck ice skates? There's no black people, no black hockey players, no black figure skaters, maybe an Asian, but no blacks. Absolutely not. And I just don't get how they can make this ride. You know, they went and they redid the ride, and they were gonna make it so nice. And I figured, oh, they'll fix it up. Yo, they made the Asian people's eyes more slanty. They took out black people, which is hard when you got 5, you make it 4. And when you leave the ride, as you're pulling out, and you're gonna look now, I assure you, on the right-hand side are all the countries that we like, AKA white people. It's Germany, it's France, it's whatever. Everyone we hate is on the left. The Jews, the Muslims, the Germans, we still got a fucking grudge over that. I know they're mostly white, but whatever. And I don't understand where in a place that's supposed to be so inclusive, they could make a ride that is so ridiculously racist that every time I ride on it, my wife has to yell at me because I can't shut the fuck up about how racist it is. She looks at me like, you are ruining this experience for our 4-year-old. And I'm like, I want that son of a bitch to understand that Disney fucking hates everyone, but not you because you're a big, tall, attractive white kid with red hair. Thank you guys so much. Thanks again for coming out. Please go grab a shower, drink some coffee, tip your bartenders. Good night.